New York City, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, and also where those dreams get smothered by car horns, skyrocketing rents, and the faint but unmistakable aroma of hot dog water mixed with street garbage. The city that never sleeps? Well, more like the city that can't sleep because someone's doing a drum solo on a trash can outside your window at 3 a.m. But hey, it's New York. Even when it's at its most infuriating, you can't help but love it. So let's take a look at everything that makes NYC both iconic and hilariously imperfect. Sorry to interrupt, but subscribing is like finding the best bagel in New York City. You'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The smell, what even is that? If you've spent any time in NYC, you know there's a signature scent that's a mix of pizza, garbage, exhaust, and something that defies categorization. And that smell changes by the season. Summer is the worst offender. Hot garbage is the official scent of New York in July, and once you've experienced it, it's something you never forget. Walking down the street is like a lottery where you don't win money, but instead, a new and exciting odor. Some people call it character, but let's be honest, it's gross. The rent is too damn high? Okay, let's just get this out of the way. If you've ever tried to rent an apartment in New York, you know it's like a twisted game show where the prize is a glorified closet for $3,000 a month. Want a one-bedroom in Manhattan? Better hope you've got a Wall Street salary or a trust fund. The landlords? They act like they're doing you a favor by letting you rent a place that has character, which is code for exposed brick, drafty windows, and maybe a rat roommate or two. If you manage to find a decent place, congrats. You're still broke, but at least you're broke in style. The subway, an experience in human endurance. The MTA is the great equalizer. It doesn't care if you're rich, poor, or just late for work. The subway system is a labyrinthine nightmare of delays, mysterious smells, and performers who either make your day or make you question your life choices. Delays are so common they've become part of the New York lifestyle. Just try explaining to someone not from here that you were late because of a sick passenger on the F train. They'll think you're making excuses, but no, Carol. It's just New York being New York. Oh, and good luck with the summer. Nothing like waiting for the train on a sweltering, unventilated platform, wondering if this is what a sauna in purgatory feels like. And don't even get me started on the Showtime kids. Those acrobatics are cool and all, but I'd like to get to my stop without catching a sneaker to the face. Times Square, the glittering tourist trap. Up next, Times Square. It's the crossroads of the world, the beating heart of New York City, and a living hell for anyone who actually lives here. It's a kaleidoscope of neon lights, overpriced restaurants, and tourists who forget how sidewalks work. You want a selfie with a knockoff Elmo that smells like cigarettes? This is the place. Locals avoid Times Square like the plague, unless they're forced to go through it on their way to somewhere actually worth visiting. And let's not forget the costume characters who may or may not try to guilt trip you into tipping them after you take a photo. Nothing says magic like a half-hearted high five from a disgruntled Spider-Man. The never-ending construction. Is New York ever not under construction? It feels like every block has at least one scaffolding-covered sidewalk, complete with the sounds of jackhammers and the lingering fear that something might drop on your head. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they're building something new or just adding more chaos to the mix. It's almost like the city is in a constant state of trying to remodel itself, but it's never quite satisfied. And let's not forget the street closures that pop up at the worst possible times, forcing you to take a quick 30-minute detour just to get around the block. Rats, New York's real mascots. Forget the Statue of Liberty. The true symbol of New York City is the rat. They're everywhere. They're in the subways, in the streets, and occasionally making a cameo appearance in your nightmares. The infamous pizza rat was just one of many, heroically dragging a slice down the subway steps like it was a victory trophy. Rats here have no fear, and why should they? They outnumber us and have adapted to city life better than most transplants. New Yorkers have accepted rats as part of the scenery, like pigeons, but grosser and with a taste for bagels. Central Park. Nature, sort of? Central Park is the escape from the hustle, a little slice of nature in the middle of the concrete jungle. Except it's not really that much of an escape when you're sharing it with 10,000 other people, all trying to get a piece of the great outdoors. Joggers, dog walkers, street performers, picnickers, all competing for the same patch of grass. And let's not forget the horse-drawn carriages, which seem quaint until you're stuck behind one, choking on the smell of horse manure while tourists wave at you like you're part of the attraction. New York attitude. They say New Yorkers are rude, but that's not quite right. New Yorkers are busy, impatient, and direct, which can come off as rude, sure. The truth is, people here just don't have time for small talk. If you're lost, someone will help you, but they'll probably make fun of you first. The attitude is part of what makes the city tick. Nobody's pretending to be something they're not. And while that honesty can be refreshing, it's also why asking for directions might get you a mix of helpful advice and a sarcastic remark about your life choices. The endless line culture. If there's one thing New Yorkers love, it's standing in line. Whether it's for a bagel, a Broadway show, or the latest hyped-up food trend, looking at you, cronut. The line is always long. You'd think people would avoid lines, but nope. If there's a new ramen spot in town, you can bet there's a queue that wraps around the block. Sometimes you don't even know what the line is for, but you're tempted to join it anyway. Because if that many people are waiting, it must be good, right? Spoiler, it's usually not worth it. The weather, too hot, too cold, never just right. New York weather is a roller coaster ride that nobody asked for. Summer is so hot and humid that the entire city feels like the inside of a dog's mouth. Then winter comes along and punches you in the face with icy winds that seem to come from every direction at once. There are maybe 2 weeks of pleasant weather per year, and during that time, everyone flocks to rooftop bars to enjoy a drink before the next extreme weather event arrives. It's a city of extremes, where the temperature swings wildly and you end up carrying both an umbrella and sunglasses at all times. The hustle culture. New York City is the land of opportunity, where everyone is hustling. And I mean everyone. Your barista has a side gig as a DJ, your Uber driver is a screenwriter, and your neighbor is an aspiring fashion designer, dog walker, social media influencer. There's this unspoken pressure to always be doing something big, something important. It's exhausting just thinking about it. People here glorify being busy, as if not having any free time is a badge of honor. The hustle never stops, and while it's inspiring, it's also why everyone seems to be on the verge of burnout. The Pizza Wars. Ask a New Yorker where to find the best pizza, and be prepared for a passionate, borderline aggressive debate. Everyone has their favorite slice joint, and they'll fight to the death to defend it. Is it Joe's, Di Fara, Patsy's? The truth is, most pizza here is pretty good, but good luck saying that out loud. The rivalry is real, and you'll get side-eye if you dare mention liking some random spot in Brooklyn over a Manhattan classic. And heaven help you if you put pineapple on it. That's a sin punishable by exile from the 5 boroughs. The tourists. Tourists are both a blessing and a curse in New York. On one hand, they bring in a ton of money. On the other hand, they're always walking too slowly, stopping in the middle of the sidewalk to take pictures, or gawking at someone dressed like a Times Square Elmo. The way they marvel at the most mundane things, look, a rat eating a hot dog, can be endearing, but also a reminder of just how chaotic this city is. Locals have a love-hate relationship with tourists. We appreciate them, but for the love of all that's holy, move out of the way. The nightlife that never ends. New York is known for its nightlife. You can get a slice at 3 a.m., stumble into a bar at 4 a.m., and then grab a questionable bodega sandwich at 5 a.m. The city literally never sleeps, but maybe it should take a nap once in a while. The nightlife is great when you're young and full of energy, but once you hit a certain age, the idea of going out until sunrise is more exhausting than exciting. But hey, at least you have options, even if those options include a 24-hour diner where the food is a gamble you're willing to take. Biking in the city, a gamble with your life. Bike lanes in New York City are a suggestion at best. Sure, there are dedicated lanes, but they're often blocked by double-parked cars, delivery trucks, or pedestrians who didn't get the memo that a bike lane is not a sidewalk extension. Riding a bike in this city is basically an extreme sport. You're dodging taxis, avoiding potholes that look like portals to another dimension, and praying that no one opens a car door in front of you. It's both exhilarating and terrifying, which pretty much sums up living in New York. Nah. The myth of the New York Minute. Everything's supposed to happen faster in a New York Minute, right? Wrong. Try getting a cab in the rain or waiting for a table at that trendy brunch spot. You'll find out that a New York Minute is just as susceptible to time warping as anywhere else. The only thing that actually moves in a New York Minute is the guy behind you in line when you're not moving fast enough. He'll make sure you know it too, with a sigh or a pointed, "Let's go." But when it comes to public services or bureaucratic processes, get ready to wait. The rooftop bars. Overpriced drinks with a view. Rooftop bars are a staple of New York nightlife, especially when the weather is cooperating. They offer stunning views of the skyline, but you'll pay dearly for the experience. Want a cocktail? That'll be $20 plus the privilege of elbowing your way through a crowd of influencers trying to get the perfect sunset shot. The views are great, but you're also paying for the vibe, and sometimes that vibe includes waiting 15 minutes for a bartender to acknowledge your existence while pretending the bar isn't completely overbooked. Street performers. Hit or miss entertainment. Street performers are part of what makes New York so vibrant. You never know when you'll stumble upon a guy playing the saxophone, a dance crew doing flips, or a man dressed as a silver robot standing really still. Sometimes they're amazing, like, I'd pay to see this, amazing. Other times, you get a guy banging on buckets and yelling at people who don't throw money in his hat. It's a mixed bag, but it's all part of the charm. Just remember, once you make eye contact, it's hard to walk away without dropping at least $1. The bagel debate, too serious to be fun. New Yorkers are very particular about their bagels. It's practically a religion here. The water, they say, is what makes New York bagels the best. Try to tell a local that you prefer bagels from anywhere else, and you'll be met with disbelief, judgment, and maybe even an impromptu lecture on gluten. Bagels are serious business here, whether it's debating the best bagel shop or arguing over the correct ratio of cream cheese to bagel. People have strong feelings. And don't even think about toasting a fresh bagel unless you want to be shunned. The iconic yellow cabs. Not so iconic anymore. Yellow cabs used to be synonymous with New York City. Now, good luck finding one when you need it. The rise of ride-sharing apps has made cabs less visible, and when you do spot one, the driver might refuse your fare because it's not convenient. Sure, they're still around, but they're no longer the kings of the streets. Plus, surge pricing during peak hours means sometimes you're paying way more than you expected just to get across town. At least you can still stick your arm out and pretend you're in a movie for that brief magical moment before the cab speeds past you. The High Line? Beautiful, but crowded. The High Line is a beautiful elevated park built on an old railway line, offering great views of the city and the Hudson River. But as with all things in New York, it's usually packed. Walking the High Line is less of a leisurely stroll and more of a shuffle, as you navigate through throngs of tourists taking selfies and people on first dates awkwardly trying to get to know each other. It's a great concept, but it's another place that would be perfect if only there weren't so many people trying to enjoy it at the same time. The myth of the friendly bodega cat. Every New Yorker knows about the bodega cat, the unofficial mascot of the city's corner stores. They're cute, they're furry, and they're there to keep the mice away. But don't be fooled. These cats are not necessarily friendly. Sure, some will let you scratch behind their ears, but others will give you a death stare that suggests you're inches away from losing a finger. They're more like tiny furry gatekeepers of overpriced snacks, watching your every move as you try to decide if you really need that $5 energy drink. And there you have it. New York City, larger than life, endlessly fascinating, and far from perfect. Whether it's the hustle, the skyline, the pizza, or the peculiarities of its people, there's no place quite like it. New York's flaws are part of what makes it so memorable. After all, if you can make it here, despite the rats, the rent, and the constant construction, you can make it anywhere. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.